Halton News right here on your TV. It's Tuesday, May 26th, and I'm Jessica Kading. There are 4 more confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Halton since yesterday, and an additional probable case. That brings the total number of reported cases in our region to 699. 531 of those people have already fully recovered, and the death toll remains at 25. When broken down by municipality, the town of Oakville has seen the highest number of cases in Halton, followed by Milton, Halton Hills, and then Burlington. Calls to the COVID-19 hotlines went up over the weekend. We spoke with Constable Ryan Anderson of the Halton Police, who says the nice weather certainly played a role.
So we were up quite a bit this weekend compared to previous weekends in terms of call volume. The vast majority of them were responded to by bylaw officers as opposed to police officers. However, we did respond in total to about 135 calls. A lot of the calls, when I mention calls, are people just looking for some clarification because, I think the vast majority of people want to do the right thing and they want to be obeying the regulations. And I certainly understand this is, such a unique and situation in our time, and with regulations changing every week and day to day. And, I can certainly understand why people are struggling to keep up with it. Even as police, we have to make sure we're on top of what we can and cannot do and what people can and cannot do. So it's a lot for people. And that's why I would say the vast majority of our enforcement would be in the terms of education as opposed to enforcement.
While the city of Burlington has so far seen the lowest number of cases in the region, the hot weather yesterday had residents flocking to Burlington Beach. While bylaw officers and Halton Police did not issue tickets, they did remind residents that attending the beach, even if you're technically social distancing, is in violation of the emergency order in Ontario. To prevent this from recurring, fencing will be installed along the full length of the beach and additional signage will be put up. Residents wishing to report overcrowding or other physical distancing violations can call the COVID-19 hotline at 905-825-4722. Conservation Halton Parks reopened last Friday, but they were able to prevent crowding by enforcing new social distancing measures. Kim Slonwhite spoke with the CEO for those details.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so the last 3 days, we had close to 18,000 people come to our parks. And, all of that happened without any crowding, without any issues with physical distancing. And that's because of the plan that we worked on and the plan that we put in place. So Friday was a big day for us, and we'll talk a little bit, I'm sure, about the plan. It's underpinned by technology. And so whenever you have something like that, you always have some nerves. Is it going to work? Is the system going to crash? Are people going to be open to doing things a certain way? And that's a big part of it. There's 6 decades of a certain way to access these parks, which we changed last Friday in a very big way.
Right. Okay. As a park membership pass holder as well that plans on visiting the parks really soon, how does it work for me now when I want to come visit the park? What have you put in place that I need to know about?
So we've put in place a registration system, and everybody right now is limited to 2-hour visits. That limit we hope will go away eventually, but right now you have to pre-book your slot. We control the inventory, if I can call it that, i.e. the number of people that we'd like in the park, and that's all calculated based on trail capacity and lots of other factors, reducing the number of cars we want in our parking lots. And the system isn't quite as simple as just registering. It's actually quite smart. So you register, you also enter your license plate number. If you're a pass holder, you enter your pass number. If you're not a pass holder, you can simply pay when you register. When you drive up to the gatehouse, because that was the other thing we wanted to address, we have license plate scanners that will scan your license plate that you put in as part of your registration, and it'll open the gates up. We're installing the gates today, but this past weekend we had gatehouse staff, and they'll let you through. There's no interaction required whatsoever with anybody. Our average time to enter a park on a busy day would be anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes per car in some cases, because people would come, they would ask how much it is, they would pay, then you pay with your card and ask a few other questions, you get a receipt, and then on you go. It's now down to 3 seconds. That's what it takes to get in. And so, that entire system is then tied to the back end, and I won't get too technical, but a platform that is live monitoring capacity. And so it can add slots at certain hours. It can take away slots at certain hours. But we do all of that to ensure that there is no overcrowding. So based on all of the data, and that's the key thing now, we have data on everything. How many people, how long they took, where they went. Based on that, we're going to be fine-tuning constantly the capacity that we have, and we're going to do our best to make sure that our guests and visitors who come here don't have to worry about overcrowding on trails, parking lots, and can actually have a peaceful experience at the parks.
Oakville Town and Regional Councillor Tom Adams has been keeping a close eye on how the COVID-19 numbers break down across Halton and in the town. He joined Mayor Rob Burton on Oakville Matters to discuss how those numbers are looking in our region and how we're doing.
The answer is we're doing okay. We're not doing perfect, but we're not doing bad. We've got neighbors in Peel and Toronto who are in much worse situation than we are. Right now, we're averaging 5 or 6 cases a day. And that's not as good as we were before March break, for example, when we were, at the 0 or 1 a day kind of figure. But it's much better than we were in mid-April when we were seeing, 10 to 20 cases a day. So we've come down off of that peak, but we're still seeing cases. And so we need to continue to be vigilant. And we do need to be concerned about whether there might be community transmission coming from outside of the Oakville and Halton area, coming from Peel and Toronto, for example. If you happen to be a person who's working in one of those other communities, you are probably at a slightly higher risk of getting it and bringing it back than you might be getting it in the community transmission in Halton and Oakville. So that's an issue to be concerned about. So we need to continue tracing, we need to continue our case management and make sure that we're doing all those things.
Well, you raise an interesting point because people going in and out of, leaving to go to work and coming home, that does speak to how there is a kind of mixing that does go on. For some reason, we've had a very low death level from this disease in Oakville. I think
we've had three deaths in Oakville. But there were a larger number of deaths up in Halton Hills associated with an institutional outbreak. And so like all across Canada, where a large portion of the deaths and fatalities have actually been occurring amongst long-term care facilities, those are the kinds of things that we need to be vigilant about. Recently, we've been doing okay on that front. Most of our recent cases are actually community transmission cases out and about, I'll say, even if they're associated with a family contact or something like that. They're not happening as egregiously as they were before in our long-term care facilities.
That was an excerpt of Oakville Matters, which was recorded earlier this afternoon and will air tomorrow night at 7:30. At City Council yesterday in Burlington, the 2020 tax levy bylaw was approved. The overall property tax increase is 2.43% or $18 per each $100,000 of urban residential assessment. For those of you who deferred your April 21st tax installment to June 30th due to COVID-19, the city is now offering pre-authorized payments to those of you who cannot meet the June 30th deadline. The plan will not incur any interest or penalty charges. For more information, please visit burlington.ca/property tax. In Milton, the proposed quarry was a topic of discussion at their council meeting yesterday. Melissa Candelaria is standing by with those details. Melissa?
So I'm here in the general location of a proposed quarry in the town of Milton, a topic of which was brought before town council on Monday. Now, there was quite a bit of confusion, according to mayor and council, as to what exactly they were going to be talking and voting on Monday. And really what it came down to was whether or not they were going to get a second legal opinion to possibly implement an ICBL. And what that means is it's an interim control bylaw, and that enables a municipality to freeze a development of any kind, really, in order to have more time to review policies, procedures, and things like that before development can actually move forward. That was the topic of discussion, and there was some debate on the table. Now, before we get into the discussion for Monday's council, I want to remind folks that James Dick Construction Limited put that application forward for this potential new quarry back in August of 2018. Now, in September of that year, the region issued a letter of objection to the applicant and the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry. So, on Monday, Councillor Christina Tesser-Dirksen discussed her reasons why she believes getting a second legal opinion to whether or not issue an ICBL. And she says basically she wanted to make sure council did their due diligence.
It's not so much about seeking a different opinion, so much as it is being able to answer residents when they want to hold us accountable for the decision we eventually make. If we get asked, okay, did you guys even seek a second opinion? And our answer is, well, gee, no, we didn't. I mean, that seems like a pretty basic, if not weak, answer. I think it's incumbent upon us to seek out as much information in the most fulsome way that we can, if for no other reason that we can answer our residents confidently that we did everything we possibly could within our power and within reason to get to the decision we did.
Other councillors took issue with this motion, including Zishan Hamid, who says it's simply a waste of time.
If we were discussing ICBL today, I would have different things to say. But right now, that's not the motion. The motion is to get yet another opinion. And I don't see how that brings clarity to anything. That if anything, it will convolute the issue even more, because now we're adding yet more point of view of somebody who doesn't have skin in the game and has nothing to lose and might not even live here.
So now, after some discussion, it was finally put to a vote, a recorded vote, in fact, and the motion to get a second legal opinion on whether or not they should implement an interim control bylaw was defeated 6-3. So now what does that mean for Milton Council? Currently, there is a JART process in place, which means a joint review agency team, and that's made up of regional staff, council, municipal council staff as well, organizations like Conservation Halton and other organizations that would be directly affected should a quarry move forward in Milton. And right now, there is a bit of a waiting game. They are waiting for further instructions with the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry and the applicant themselves on how they can move forward or where they will be able to move forward in this review process. But of course, given the COVID-19 situation, it could be a bit of a wait. With that, I'll throw it back to you.
Thanks for that, Melissa, and thank you for being with us here on Halton News. We do need to take a short break now, but we'll be back with a look to how our local grocers are keeping supplies up so that we don't run out of food. That story and our local weather forecast up next. Started for Ontario farmers. The issue looks at how grocery stores and local farmers are cooperating to bring you those fresh vegetables and flowers for your garden. Let's take a look.
Tell me a little bit about Canadian farmers. What can we do to help them? They've got to be struggling right now.
Well, right now, I mean, they're all starting up their business for the year, and we do a lot of big business with them on any given year. Just buy locally as much as you can, and support the stores that are putting that kind of thing on the shelves. I know we just started with local asparagus last week, so that's going to be a big start, and that usually kicks off the season until you get to all the nice corn and all that kind of stuff. But I had a few talks with some of our flower suppliers for the garden center kind of before COVID hit, and they kind of expressed some concern about their stock and that kind of thing. And they contacted me and said, hey, what do you think is going to happen? And I said, I really don't know. I mean, we're going to be open, we're going to follow all the protocols, and we'll see how it goes. And now we can't even keep any of their stuff on the shelf. It's been busy. Everybody's been planting, and it's all local. It's all from Niagara, St. Catharines, up in Waterdown. So those guys they've been really good to us, and they've been having a decent season so far.
Oh, well, that's good. I was just concerned about things like harvesting and getting things to market, if there was any difficulties there. Or I even heard potatoes were, there's a real glut of potatoes. And if we want to help out Canadian farmers, we should be eating more potatoes right now. Anything else like that going on?
I heard the French fry potatoes. I haven't heard too much about that beyond what I've heard in the news, not from our suppliers, but they've been, they're still getting their food to market, and we're still buying them. You know, it's not so much a one-on-one thing anymore where you go and you give the guy a handshake and say, what do you got today? It's more of you give them a call early in the morning and say, you know, give me this and give me that. And you know it will be good product because they always give you good product. And that's the way you got to do business these days.
It is hot, hot, hot out there. The heat advisory continues. 30 degrees is our high, down to 16 overnight, and then tomorrow right back up to 29 degrees. That only comes with a 30% chance of rain showers. Otherwise, a mix of sun and clouds to enjoy again tomorrow. Chance of rain increases slightly on Friday. 24 degrees and cloudy skies expected. And then as we look into the weekend, our temperatures will lower to a more comfortable level. Full sunshine expected, so still a beautiful weekend to look forward to. Stride and the Canadian Mental Health Association have come together to talk about mental health during the pandemic. Join the Chamber to learn about the services Stride offers to support employers, employees, and job seekers during and beyond the pandemic. Ideas to care for ourselves and others during this time. The webinar is free to Milton Chamber members and is taking place this Thursday morning. To register, visit miltonchamber.com. Time now for another short break, but if you identify as a busy woman running her own business or you know one, stay tuned. There's a tribe of women you can connect with for free right here in Halton, offering guidance and support. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Halton News. I'm Jessica Kading. COVID-19 has presented unprecedented challenges for business owners this year. But joining a community of like-minded individuals can help, as your peers can offer advice and ideas to support you along this journey. Karen Baring is the CEO of Busy Women, and she invites you to join them. I connected with her over Zoom and asked her to describe the community that she's created.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Busy Women is a group for women entrepreneurs. We started off Halton-based, although we've expanded now, and it really is finding your community to support you for your business.
And how do you support women?
That's a great question. We support women in various ways, from simple things like networking meetings, masterminds where it's a collaboration of like-minded people, and then coaching as well. So different aspects. It really is about what you need in your business and us being able to provide that for you.
And how has your business model changed because of COVID-19?
We've drastically changed. The biggest thing is, up until 3 months ago, every single thing we did was physical. So our meetings were all physical location meetings, and that was an abrupt stop for us. We had to learn to quickly pivot, as many other businesses have. So we've gone from having 0% of our meetings online to having 100% of our meetings online.
And I'm sure you find that many of the women that you're coaching are going through the exact same thing with your business. What has been a piece of advice that you've been giving over and over that seems to apply to many female entrepreneurs, if not all entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I think for every entrepreneur, it'd be the same thing that I would offer, and that is understanding that business has changed, society has changed. What worked in the past might not work now. So really take some time to analyze what your offering is and how you can best serve your target market, as well as there's opportunity sometimes. Perhaps a market you didn't have before is now available to you. So really focus and pay attention to what's going on.
And how does joining that particular tribe help women? What happens in the short term? Say we signed up today, what would we expect?
Oh, so we have an online community, a Facebook community that's free. Anyone can join. We've actually had 500 new members in the last month, which makes me really believe that people are looking for the online world in the moment. So you can go there, you can get some advice, you can meet like-minded people. Now, it's not just Halton because it's online. We have people from all over the world joining us. But it's nice. Foundation for your business is always the same, no matter where you live. So it's nice to have a sounding board. So you can go from that. We have networking meetings. We have a networking meeting coming up that has 70 people registered for it. And that's a training session. And then we do masterminds and coaching as well.
And how are you trying to keep these entrepreneurs positive through all of these unprecedented changes that have been going on in these tough times?
You know, mental health has really been something that we're paying attention to at Busy Women and elsewhere too, because our businesses are so tied to us. So it's so important to look after your mental health, whether or not you're a female entrepreneur, an entrepreneur, or just somebody who lives in society. Look after your mental health and celebrate your small wins. It's nice to be able to look at your little wins and acknowledge and celebrate those.
Well, I'm really happy we were able to join with you today. It sounds like your Facebook group is a perfect place for interested parties to start, so they can look up Busy Women on Facebook, and or if they don't have Facebook, they can find you at busywomen.ca. Thank you so much, Karen, for all you're doing for those in our community.
Thank you so much for having me. I truly enjoyed myself. Thanks. Take care.
The Downtown Oakville Cyber Sidewalk sale is kicking off tomorrow night on Instagram at 7 p.m. Follow Oakville Downtown's Instagram stories for live auction action, with everything starting at least 50% off. Then the actual Cyber Sidewalk sale begins Thursday, May 28th and will run through Sunday, May 31st. You can shop from the comfort of your home, day or night. Many retailers are also offering free shipping and local delivery. For more information, including a list of all participating stores, please visit oakville.downtown.com. Senior Centers Without Walls program is set to launch a free and interactive telephone-based initiative on June 1st to connect ages 50 plus. You do not need to be a member of Oakville Senior Services to participate, and no special equipment is needed, just a telephone. To check out the program calendar and pre-register for your preferred days, please visit scww@oakville.ca. Tonight in Burlington and Oakville, we have Inspiring Youth with Bruce Outridge. James Burchill brings us Smart Car Coffee Confidential at 7:30, and at 8 p.m. you can tune in to a new episode of The Issue. Kathy Thompson brings you Beyond the Classroom at 8:30. For those of you watching in Milton and Halton Hills, Local Matters with Councillor Mike Cluett starts at 7. Gaming Now is on, and then Actin' Up. Thanks for watching. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at YourTV Halton. We're also online at yourtv.tv. We'll see you again tomorrow night. We'll be live at 5:30.